Welcome everybody to another edition, or I don't know if I'm calling these things episodes of Office Hours Live. So Office Hours Live was just a way for me to just go live on my social media pages and just be able to answer real estate questions to anybody that may need it. You know, sometimes I do market reports and all of that cool stuff. You know, first time home buyers, talking about the process and what's going on in the market, all of that stuff. But today I have a special guest. I have a very special guest. Listen, when we talk, we always have great conversations. So I could imagine where this live is going to go. But ladies and gentlemen, Miss Jeannette Lucky.
Good morning, everyone.
I don't have the applause button.
Oh, that's cute. I like it. You got an applause button. What? So Gerard is teaching Jeannette all about technology, but we're gonna be dropping some knowledge here this morning.
Yeah. I'm nerding out today. We'll be all right. So first off, what do you do? And I guess a better question is, how did you end up here? What do you do, and how did you end up here?
Oh man, so when I bought my home, and I oftentimes tell my clients this story. When I bought my home, I was supposed to be helped by someone that was a quote unquote friend of a friend, but you know, when we refer people, we expect that there's going to be some type of integrity and that person is going to look out for you. Well, that's not really what happened for us. You know, we bought our home. We were discouraged from doing a first time home buyer program at the time that was popular, which was CHAFA. Said, you know, oh, it takes too long, because I mean, back in the day, it probably did. It was about 6 months. But wound up in an adjustable rate mortgage. FHA was going to adjust in a year. You know, when you get to the closing table, it's a little bit different from going through the process. Because when you're at the closing table, then that's it. You know, you sign. You either sign or you die by the sword, whatever. So most first-time home buyers, when they get to that closing table, they may question things that are not right, but they're not going to go, no, I'm not signing. Okay, that's right. A bold person that goes, yeah, no, I ain't signing up for that. So I knew that things were wrong when we got to the closing table and the attorney was explaining them. I'm like, no. What do you mean adjustable rate mortgage, this and that? No, that's what they have you signed up for. And, you know, my bad, because honestly, first thing I'll tell people, you know, reading is fundamental. Read your documents. So I wound up having to refinance within a year because our rate was going to adjust 12 months later, and the market wasn't that great, and it was going to adjust up. And it bothered my soul that I got suckered like that. I was already working for a mortgage company because I was support. So I was, you know, support for all the mortgage people. Now I'm watching these people and they are getting it. The business is booming. These people are running around and I'm doing all of their work because I was support. So back in the day, the loan officer didn't have to do all of this stuff that we do now. They had somebody sitting at a desk doing all their work, calling their clients, doing this, that, the other, and they could just go out and write paper. And I decided, yeah, no, there's nobody that's really representing us on a major level where we're not getting suckered. This is back in the day, you know, almost 30 years ago. Banks were getting sued for predatory lending. Fleet was getting hit left and right because I started out with Fleet Bank. But in New Jersey, they were cutting up, acting a fool, charging us more to get the same thing or less. And so, and the federal government was after them. And it just felt like, you know what, listen, we're never going to get ahead if we don't have a representative, if we don't have somebody to represent us in the right way. And that's why I became a loan officer. That's how I became a loan officer. I oftentimes tell my clients, I did not get into this business to make money. I did make money because I got into this business.
Right.
But I got into this business because I wanted to represent people that look like me, people that were underdogs, because I don't care whether you look like me or not. If you're an underdog, you're an underdog. If your income level is where my income level was, you were underdog. It don't matter what color you are, you're underdog.
Right.
And so I wanted people that didn't have as much to have the best possible representation that they could have.
Mhm.
And you know what? 30 years later, I'm still here.
Nice. Nice. And I think I met you. So I've been licensed for 8 years. And I want to say we met probably about 7 years ago. You were with a big box bank, is what I like to call them.
Huge.
We'll, we'll leave them unnamed,
Yeah,
but
yeah. I was
you.
with them. I was for them. I was like them. You know what? And the bottom line is that you don't know what you're missing until you get what you're missing. When you get what you're missing, you're
Mm,
like, wow, I didn't know
mm,
that this could be done or that could be done. I honestly, I used to tell people, if you can't get it here, you can't get it. It was just such an untruth. It wasn't
yeah,
an
yeah.
intentional untruth, but I just at that point felt like if we're not going to approve you, nobody is. That's not true.
Mm.
That's not true.
I,
Don't believe that.
right. And so yeah, like since I met you, our first conversation has been this right here. Like you've always stood on being a representative for our people, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I
Yeah.
just wanted to applaud you for that, and um let these folks know that's watching that you are our biggest cheerleader.
You know what? Listen, because I teach financial literacy too, I try to tell people, you know what, listen, don't accept no for an answer. Because
Mm,
if somebody gives you a no, then the follow-up question is why? Why not?
right,
You know, give me some information. Don't just take the no. Because a lot of times we just get told no. I'll
right,
tell you, I got good at telling people that they were declined. I'm sorry, but you know, at this time, this lender is not willing to
mm,
do, not willing to lend you money or whatever.
right,
But I would always want them to say why. Why not?
mm,
And what? What do I have to do to make you want to lend me money? We don't ask the follow-up questions. You and I were talking about just asking the question, right?
right,
So, we can't always take no, because no right now doesn't mean no forever.
right.
But we don't, we go with, oh, we don't like rejection, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
Listen, we all gonna suffer rejection at some point, but at the end of the day, if you ask the questions, you're gonna get answers. If you don't
Right.
want to ask your lender the question, go ask God the question. He's the one that has the answer for real, for real.
Right, right. And I tell all my clients, I'm like, listen, fill out the application. At least at the end of it, worst case scenario, you'll have a plan.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
absolutely.
and I pride myself in keep keeping lenders around me that believe in that same thought. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's not just a no. Is a game plan. What needs to be done, and here's how you get that done. You know,
Yes. What can I do? Where can I go? Who can help me?
right? So you mentioned financial literacy,
Mhm.
and so and dealing with, especially in this market, but any market, but with first time home buyers, we're getting a lot of people that want to take advantage of home ownership. They want a piece of the pie, the American dream. Tired of dealing with landlords, want to be able to enjoy their space, with their family and all of that type of stuff. So like I say, there's a lot of reasons why people would want to buy
Mhm.
in any market, including this crazy market. People still want to buy. But in terms of financial literacy, what are some fundamental financial principles that every renter should be aware of or considering before considering home ownership?
The first thing is affordability, right? If
Mm,
you're struggling to pay your rent, I never have a problem, Gerard, telling people that they need a better job.
mm,
I don't know why we settle for whatever we're doing. Okay, because if whatever you're doing is only paying you $40,000 a year, baby, you need a better job.
mm,
And so, affordability, if you're struggling to pay your rent, what do you think is going to happen if you get a house? What's
mm,
going to change? How are you going to change that? So the first thing is just affordability. Can
mhm,
you afford to be a homeowner? Does it
right.
fit into your budget? So you have to be ready to purchase. That's the first
Mm,
thing. You got to be ready, you know, and that's both financially and personally.
Right.
Right? Because honestly, how many people walk in and tell you that they want 3 bathrooms and 4 bedrooms and they need a man cave and you know what? Listen, get your priorities in order. Don't settle for what you don't want, but make a plan for what you do want. Because if you want 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms or 2.5 baths and you want this great big old backyard in this market, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money, right? So, you know, you're talking about $400,000, but you're not going to get 400,000 on a $60,000 income. And so
Mm,
we have to realistically take a look at what we're doing. Where's
mm,
your income? When people talk about having multiple streams of revenue, that's why they say it,
mm.
you know. But I don't want you to work for your house either. I want you to be
Right.
house rich and cash poor. So
Right.
it has to be your readiness to purchase financially. Where am I at financially and what can I afford?
Mm,
And then personally, what are your goals? What are your values? Where are your morals at?
mm,
Those are the fundamental principles that's going to get you to where you want to go. And you
mm.
sit down and you map it out. So one of the things that I want everybody on this live to know, go out and buy a journal. I promise you, if I had a journal, if I could just send y'all a journal, I would. I might wind up doing that, because at the
Just,
end of the day, this is a journey that needs to be journaled.
mm,
Because if you do it, then you can show somebody else how to do it.
mm,
But if you go through this and you're stressed out all through the process and you're running around and you got to get this, get that, get the other, it's like having a baby.
mm,
Women have babies. We have babies all day long. And don't you know, after the process is over, we forget what happened and we're crazy
mm.
enough to go back and do it again. Think about it. Think about it.
Yeah, we forget what happened.
Hey, we forget it.
Yeah. Nah,
Boom, it's over.
nah, you're 100% right. I feel that.
And it's the
Um,
same thing, because when you get a house,
mhm,
you got to the goal. So the goal was to get the house. Then you can walk in the house and you can be impressed. You can look around. All of this belongs to me. You forget what you went through to get there, though.
mhm. I have this thing now that, and again, I've been doing this for 8 years now, 7, 8 years, and like I'm getting more calls more than ever about from people that are in a situation where, okay, my landlord's selling, and the new buyer coming in wants this apartment, I gotta move out, or I'm getting evicted or whatever. And the rental market is so crazy right now. If you were in this lease for the last 4 or 5 years and you're paying $1,300, and now you go back out into the market right now and the rent's $1,800, $2,000, almost double, reality starts to set in a little bit, like, okay, if I'm going to pay that type of money, I probably need to buy a house. But a lot of people have not done what should have been done, as far as maintaining their credit, maintaining their budget, to the point where now this problem has come about and you can't really make a move. So I guess my question is, how do you maintain that? You know what I mean? Like, how important is it for credit management, and how do you maintain that? Because it's easy, like you said, it's easy to forget. I get my credit score up to 700 now, and then I go on about life, and then I'm doing things, and then now I'm in this jam and my score dropped because I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing all of this time. Like, how do you maintain that?
So what I would say is this. First of all, stop running around trying to pay everybody to do it for you.
Mm.
So my grandfather, who was like my hero, okay, because I just thought my grandfather knew everything, because my grandmama told me he did. She said, if Bill says it, it's right. That's what she told me. So I believed her. My grandfather always taught me that if you earn it, If you work for it, then you're going to appreciate it better. If
Mm,
you earn it, you're going to appreciate it better. If you build it, you're going to appreciate it better. So
mm,
the issue with us right now is that there's everybody online talking about for $99 a month or for $49 a month
mm-hmm,
for whatever it is, we'll fix your credit for you.
mm-hmm.
And I guarantee you, if they do fix your credit for you, you're still going to go back and fall in that hole. You know why? You didn't do it yourself.
Right.
You didn't do it yourself. So I'm not going to tell you not to pay someone to give you a plan. I have a plan. If you want to pay me for it, I'll give it to you and you can go fix your credit.
Mm,
But what you should not do is pay someone to write your letters, to do this, to do that, to do the other for you while you sit back and do nothing. You're
mm,
going to go fall right back in that hole. That
right.
hole is not, you didn't fill the hole up. Think about
Mm-hmm,
a ditch. When there's a ditch, you got to throw dirt in the ditch in order to fill the hole up.
mm-hmm,
If you just go, oh, okay, I'm good, I'm going to leave the ditch there and I'm going to go on about my way, you're going to come back around and fall right back into that same ditch.
mm,
Maintaining your credit is a lifestyle because this is a country that designed a system to separate us from our dollars,
mm,
right? So the Bible says money answers all things.
mm,
That's the word. Money answers all things.
mm,
But we live in a system that's designed to separate us from our money. So you have to do the work and be smart enough to say, yeah, no, I'm gonna figure out how to keep my money. I'm gonna figure out how to make this money work for me and
mm,
not for you. While
mm.
we're being renters, we're making our money work for someone else. Our dollars are laboring for somebody else to be rich off of.
Wow.
And it's just our mindset. It's just how we think about stuff. It's what we
Mm.
think. The world told us we don't deserve it, and we said, "Oh, okay, we don't deserve it." Yeah, I don't
It,
subscribe to
it's
that
not
stuff.
supposed to be this way.
I
Right.
don't
Right. Or
subscribe to
somebody
that.
right.
We got,
So
we got
somebody
to
telling
project.
you what it's
Yeah,
supposed to be like.
right. You know what? But you
Mm,
have to. You know what? Listen. In honestly, we're guilty on all levels. So don't just think that
mm,
it's the system that was created for us to struggle. That is what is holding us down. The church holds us down too.
mm,
So if we're going to tell the truth and shame the devil, then let's do that. Because you know what? While y'all telling us what God won't do, God's word says what he will do.
mm,
But we go, oh, because the pastor said, you know what? Listen, I honor every man and woman of God in the world. But if you're going to try to tell me what God will not do, I don't have time to listen to that. I'm going to
mm.
rebuke and reject. Okay. Because that's what you do. Rebuke and reject. I rebuke that statement and I reject it. And I'm going to keep moving
Right.
because this is how we get caught up. We are caught up in the land of no, the land of you can't, the land of you don't. You don't
Mm,
deserve to have generational wealth. Why not? Who says? You don't
mm,
deserve to be a homeowner. Who says? You can't
mm.
afford. Who says?
Right.
The question is, are we willing to do the work to get there?
Right.
You know,
It's
this is a tough market. I'm gonna tell
mm,
you right now, years ago, Gerard, somebody was talking to me when the market was, I mean, the market didn't even take a turn, because this is a turn. This is a whole 360, right? It didn't even take
right.
a turn. The market, it must have went up like 1%. So we went from 3% rates to 4% rates, and people were hitting the panic button talking about, oh no, these rates are too high.
Mm,
And it's like, come on. Now we're in a turn. This market has shifted and it shifted against us, but it shifted
mm,
against us because we were sleeping. So when are we going to wake up?
right. Getting comfortable.
Yes, complacent.
Mhm,
Oh, you know what?
mhm,
I'm okay. I'm going to tell you, when I bought my house, and my house is not the Taj Mahal, it's just a little house, but it's my house. It's what God gave me, right?
mhm.
Because I went and I asked him for it. So be careful what y'all ask God for. That's what I'm gonna tell you. I went and I asked him for it. I did. I went and I asked him for it. I was like, you know what? Because they told me no. And I wasn't willing to take
Mm,
no for an answer. They told me
right.
no. Because somebody that looked like me felt like I couldn't live in this neighborhood. And trust me, this neighborhood It's just a neighborhood, right?
Right.
So I'm like, how dare he tell me no?
Mm.
Honey, I went home. I got in my little Indian squat, sat down, and me and the Lord had a powwow. I said, listen, you said this in your word. You said the earth is yours and the fullness thereof. I'm not asking for the earth. I'm asking for that little house on that street
Mm.
so that my kids can have their own backyard and that
Mm.
they can be safe and that they don't have to play on the cement. And I
Mm.
got exactly what I asked him for. He said, okay. And I'm telling you, it was a battle. We're not willing to fight for anything. We're not willing to work for. I mean, come on.
Mm. There's a guy I follow on social media. He did a video saying he's a lender as well. He did a video basically saying, you know, everybody wants the mansion. Everybody wants turnkey. Everybody wants granite countertops, stainless steel appliances. And he said, whatever happened to the starter house?
Do you know what? It's gone.
Yeah. Where's
But
the
you know
starter
what?
house?
Listen, but I'm going to tell you what. In defense of the people, I will tell you this. We need to be looking at the market and asking the market what happened to the starter house.
Mm.
Because you know what? Right now, a starter house is $300,000.
Right.
Okay, and it's a shack. Okay, I'm sorry,
Right.
it's a shack. So you know what? If you go and you buy a house for $200,000, you know how much work you got to do on that house
Mm.
in order to make it something. So yeah, you can have vision, but if I'm gonna give $200,000 a lot of money, I'm gonna give you $200,000, and then I still got to go in and make repairs.
Mm.
So in
Yeah.
defense of the buyer, whatever happened to the starter home market, this market has turned against first-time home buyers. And I'm sorry, y'all weren't too bright, because when it started to turn, you should all went home and sat in your houses and not bought anything, and it would have turned back quickly.
Right.
These United States don't like it when we're not spending money. Okay. What? You're not spending money, let us lower the rates. But no,
Right.
all y'all went out and got in the bidding wars.
Right. Right.
I'm gonna offer you 50,000, 100,000 more than I can really afford. What? What are we
Mm.
doing? What are we thinking about?
But and you're right, but it's like, okay, it's back to what I said originally is, you know, so, you know, my stance right now on this market is if you can afford to sit, you should probably sit. You know what I mean? Or really rephrase that. If you can't afford to get out into the market, you should probably sit, right?
So yeah.
But if you there's some people that have to make a move though.
Right. But the thing is this. So my philosophy is this. You either press or prepare.
Mm.
Okay. Because
Right.
some people are in preparation mode. And I
Mm.
don't care what this market is doing, and I don't care how much rent people are charging or all of this. You're either in press or prepare mode. You either have to be in preparation mode, which means that, you know what, I'm going to start right here, right now. First thing home buyers need to do. You want to be a first time home buyer, make up your mind to do that.
Mm.
And
Right.
then get a plan. And then get a plan.
And then get a plan.
Get a plan. Don't just go, oh, I'm gonna buy a house, because people do that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
If you make $20,000 a year, don't call anybody. Don't call a soul.
Mm.
Okay. You know what? Go back and do some adjustments.
Right.
Get a better job. So these are things that people don't understand, because honestly, you know, I mean, people I have calling me, they make $20,000, $40,000 a year. They're like, well, I want to buy a house in this market. The market, I'm not telling you no, the market's telling you
Just
no.
telling you no. Right.
And so you have to understand, how much money am I making? What do I need to do? But I'm going to tell you right now, all this chaos is going to birth nothing but creativity.
Mm.
Look at what happened in COVID.
Exactly.
The minute COVID hit, everybody jumped online, and all of a sudden, everybody's a guru. They all know. Listen, I watch people all the time. I go
Mm.
on social media just to watch what people are saying. Half
Mm.
the people, actually, probably 80% of the people on social media don't know what the heck they're talking about. But
Right.
I admire them. You know why I
Right.
admire them? Because they're smart enough to get up there. It doesn't matter
Mm.
to them. You know, it
Right.
doesn't matter if I don't know what I'm talking about, if I can convince you that I do.
Right.
Because they're looking for likes and followers.
Right.
Unfortunately, what happens is that people get caught up into that. And now all of a sudden, this person is my consultant. I'm going to go on their live or go on their whatever. And, I'm going to watch their posts, and whatever they say, that's what I'm going to do. And that's until you fall into a trap. And then you're going to be like, but they said, but you know what? They're not you.
Mm.
We don't want to do the work. We don't want to do the research. I know this for a fact. The easiest thing to sell in the earth, in all of the, do you know what it is?
What?
Information.
Okay. Yeah, no. Okay. Yeah, 100%. That
And
makes a lot of sense.
it's always been information.
Mm.
That is the most valuable thing that we have to sell in the earth. Information.
Knowledge is power, right?
Information. And so people they caught on to, well, if information is the thing that I need to sell, then I can go tell you about an FHA loan, but I don't really know the ins and out of it.
Right.
But I'll tell you to go get an FHA loan or a USDA loan. People don't understand that a USDA loan means you're living out in the boonies. Ain't nobody around but you.
Right.
Right. You're out there by yourself.
Rural areas.
Exactly. You're out there by yourself. Ain't nobody around but you. So you know what? What's that guy named? The one that used to I don't know, he's some kind of crazy predator, the show, the Halloween show, Michael, whoever he is, running around killing people. Yeah, you out there by yourself in the boonies. You in the movies.
With Michael Myers.
You in the movies. You are in the movies.
So all right. So we agree, mindset. You gotta want to do it, right? You got to get yourself in that mindset to want to purchase, understanding, your budget, planning, right? Maintaining your credit. All right. So let's say we got somebody that's got all of that together, right? They're ready to make a move. What's the next step? The next step's the pre-approval process, right?
Right. So first of all, every first-time home buyer should take first-time home buyer education. Okay. I'm never going to suggest that anybody pass up anything that they can get. There's an old saying that says, nothing in the world is free or something like that. There's no free ride, whatever it is, right? But there are some things that are free, right? So there's grants that are free. And they may come with the stipulation that you're in a certain income bracket. They may come with the stipulation that you have to live in the property for so long. Look at the pros and the cons of that before you go, oh no, I don't want to do that. Okay. Most of them are forgivable, whether they be a grant or even if it's a lien that's forgivable. A lien is a lien on your property, so that it's more like a second mortgage as opposed to a grant. Because a grant says, here's the money. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Right.
Right. A lien is a little bit different because it is a lien against your property and usually forgivable over time.
Right.
Do your homework.
No, I was about to say, basically a lien is if you decide to sell that house, there's front and center waiting to get paid is what the lien is.
So especially if it's a second lien. So first lien would be your mortgage, right? Second lien may be any grant that you have on your property. Second lien could be a home equity.
Right.
There's really no limit to the number of liens that you can have on your property, but lenders usually kind of stop around 3 or 4. They're like, you have all those liens, then you don't, your property's in the negative. But do your homework. Go online. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now. So I have millennials. Like my children are millennials. So millennials are smart. They're smart in that respect where if you ask a millennial something and they don't know the answer, they go Google it.
They look it up.
Google it, right? Because you know what? We don't have to go. Remember when we used to have them great big old encyclopedias? Remember kids, we had them great big old. My mother had the whole set of encyclopedias, right?
Britannica. You see, I only had half a set. That's why I ain't that smart.
We had the whole set from A to Z because she was willing to go into debt, hoping, praying that we might be smart. So we don't have to go to Britannica now. We can go to Google. Go to Google, put the question in there. Like you said this morning, GPT chat GPT.
Yeah.
Go and ask the question. Go Google it. You know what? Listen, years ago, my son, I don't know, I asked him something. He said, "Why are you asking me? Why don't you just Google it?" And I was like, oh, because you know what? The lights hadn't come on yet. So I was like, oh, I can do that. He goes, Mom, anybody can do that. So we got to start, you know what? Start with the information. So one of the biggest things for first time home buyers is this. Where do I start?
Mm.
Where do I start? Well, you first start with a decision. Okay. And then you got to start mapping out your plan. It's like anything else. You know what?
Right.
A good business plan is exactly that, a good business plan. But you don't go into business without a plan.
Right.
If you go into business and you go on a wing and a prayer, guess what? You probably not gonna make it. I can't say that everybody didn't make it, because there was somebody that went on a wing and a prayer and they got through. They really knew God. But then
Mm.
there are most people, if they go without a plan, it's gonna fail. Because it's not just about getting the house.
Right.
Getting the house is the goal. And then keeping the house is the ultimate goal.
Right.
That is ultimate. Like, you know what? Listen, it's great that you can get in the house. You get in the house, don't fall behind on your mortgage. I'm sorry, I'm old school. I don't care if I have to sit in the house with candles on. I'll be sitting
Mm.
in my house.
Right.
I will be sitting in my house. Why? Because I paid my mortgage. So so
Right.
so yeah, that's, get a budget, sit down with yourself. This is what I suggest for anybody who really wants to be a first-time home buyer. Sit down with yourself. Get your journal. That's what I'm
Mhm.
telling y'all. Get your journal and document exactly who you owe, everybody who you owe. Document what you gotta pay and how
Mhm.
much your income is. Now I'm gonna tell you, as a lender, we're gonna work with your gross income, which is bananas to me. But hey, I don't make the rules. I just follow them. But when I
So,
work with your gross income,
mhm.
gross income is what you make before your employer takes anything out of your pay. So it's before we pay the federal government. It's before we pay Medicare. It's before we pay Social Security. It's before, when the kids used to say, "Who is FICA and why are they sending in my money?" Okay, who is this and why are they sending in my money? Before your health insurance, before anything,
Mm.
it's called pre-tax dollars. Those are the dollars that we're going to use. We're using your gross income. Easiest way I could say it is, if you have a job and you make $60,000 a year, then I'm using $5,000 as a monthly income for you,
Mm.
because I'm going on your gross. But reality is, you don't get $5,000 a month. We all know that.
Right. But
Because by
it's after taxes and all of that.
by the time Uncle Sam come in and Social Security,
Mhm.
this, that, and the other, you got to pay for insurance for you, them kids, maybe the husband, everybody on your insurance policy. By the time you get your money in the bank, that's called Jeannette pay.
Mm.
That's really what you're working with, right? That's what we're
Right.
working with, because we're not working with our gross, we're working with our
Right.
net,
Right.
right? So
Right.
um that's where you start. This is what
So
I'm
so
grossing
so banks pre-approve you based off of your gross,
based off of your
but
gross income.
your reality is your net. So all right, so you can't plan off of your gross. So you gotta put that into consideration.
Right. And one of the things is this, you know what? Listen, I was talking to a young man, and I love the fact that he said, and this is what we should all be doing. This is what I can afford,
Hmm.
right? So he said, this is what I can afford for a mortgage. That's not what my numbers told me.
Mm.
So he said I can afford $2,500 a month in a payment, which is steep. That's not
Hmm.
cheap, right?
Right.
But my numbers told me he could afford 3,500.
Right. So
But he knew
right.
he has other obligations out there that don't report on his credit report. See, people don't tell you. We're only looking at your credit report. I don't
Right.
know everything you have to pay. Come on. You got your kids signed up
kids
for
activities and sports and
you know what? Your daughter's in dance. The boys play
right,
football. You know, you got T-ball. You got this, that,
right,
all of the karate. I mean,
right.
you know what? Listen, my kids took karate. They took music. They took acting classes. Do you know? I was like, man, I wish that y'all would learn how to go outside and jump rope the way we did. Because we became the entertainment, right?
Right, right.
So now you know what? Now you know what? Our kids used to. My kids used to say, "Mommy, we don't have anybody to play with." I would say, "Of course you do. You have each
Mm.
other. Y'all playmates." Right? But all of a
Right,
sudden, we became the entertainment. We got to do all of these activities to keep our kids entertained.
right.
Some kids go to private school. Private school doesn't show up on your credit report
Mm,
unless you don't pay them.
right,
So we have to look at those things. Your cell phone doesn't show up on your credit report unless you don't pay it.
right.
Because cell phone companies don't report to the credit repositories. You have to know. Child support doesn't show up on your credit report unless you don't pay it.
Mm,
So you have to have the onus is on you to know this is what I'm really working with.
mm.
You got to know what you're working with.
So
Don't listen to me because I don't know all your business. And the truth of the
right,
matter is this: I'm not gonna pay your mortgage either. Too
right,
busy
right,
paying
right,
mine.
right. And I was gonna say that. So it's tough, you know, especially being a real estate agent. Listen, I've been in bidding wars, you know what I mean? Like I'm out here in my mind, I'm trying to help my clients get what they want. I don't know how much your karate bill is. I don't know how much gas you're putting into your car. You know what I mean? Like, so there is a certain responsibility that you as a buyer have to take as far as your budget goes. I don't know your budget. You know what I mean?
And the
But
thing is this:
that
yeah,
journal makes a lot of sense.
yeah, and the thing is this, Gerald, this is what I want people to know. And, you know, I don't have anything against people going live. I don't have anything against realtors going live, loan officers going live, this or that, but stay in your lane. Because when you
Right.
start telling clients, you know, oh, yeah, you can afford it, you don't know.
No, right.
The loan officer does know, though.
Mhm.
Why? Because the loan officer should have had a very transparent conversation with their client. I ask my clients for transparency. Don't let me get blindsided. I'm like that mother that you don't want to have a talk with after she gets blindsided. You know, because what happens is people to come to the table and they're not transparent.
Right.
They want to tell you what you can see only or what
Hmm.
they think you can see only. Case in point, I was talking to a client and I said, are your student loans consolidated? The response that I got was, um, my student loans are all paid up on time. That's not what I asked you. And so I asked my clients, be transparent.
Right.
Come to the table and tell me really what you're paying. Another piece of advice I have for y'all, Afterpay, Klarna, no,
Oh, the
no,
installments.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
No. No,
yeah.
you jack your debt to income ratio up. And
Right.
not every underwriter is understanding of, oh, well, you know what? They only have to pay this for 6 months. The underwriter is concerned that you have all of these things reporting on your credit report. Don't gamble.
Right.
And if you gamble, don't let me see it coming out of your account. Pay cash.
So what advice do you have for we kind of touched on this, but after I purchased a home, what advice do you have for long-term planning as far as ownership goes?
First of all, honestly, I would tell anyone, and I'm very old school, so you know, I can tell you that this is not happening in this market, and I understand it because people just really don't have the money.
Mhm.
Um, I would say do your best to save up 6 months worth of mortgage payments for an emergency. I don't care what kind of house you purchase, single family, four family, two family, three family, whatever it is, condo, whatever it
Mhm.
is. Do your best to start saving up at least 6 months of emergency money. Your 401k, baby doll, is not emergency money. That's retirement money.
Mm.
Because what we do is we look at our 401ks and we go, oh, I can tap into this. Now, yes, I will say I have one of my clients, and she's my baby. She knows I love her. Called me up and said, Miss Lucky, my condo fees are behind. And I said, what? What are you talking about? My clients will call me just for the fuss out. They call me just to get a reality check. And we were talking, life happens. I get it. Life happens. And in your condo fee, they're not reporting to the credit reporting agency either. Right.
Right.
So that was the thing that she wasn't paying. And I said to her, do you have a 401k? Yes, ma'am. Go borrow the money, pay your condo fees, and then pay yourself back, and don't ever do that again. So you can do that. But it should be in case of something dire, not just, oh, I'm just going to keep withdrawing money from this because I can. Because what's going to happen is you're going to be an old person and you're going to have to rely on Social Security, which may not even be around when you get old. So
Right.
that shouldn't be your fail safe. You should have an account with at least 6 months of mortgage payments stacked up in it. If you don't have it when you close, then you begin to work on it immediately. People undervalue the benefit of putting $5 or $10 into an account that you won't touch every week. It's something, because you know what? Right now we're in a big mindset. Big. Everything is big. I got to have a big house. I got to drive a big car. I got to pay a lot of money for this. I have to have the best clothes, the best shoes. Everything is big, right?
Right.
So we have gotten away from the mindset that says, you know what? Listen, if I just keep putting a little away, it's going to get big.
It's going to get big, right?
And in this market, trust me, this is the market to be saving in. You know why? Because they're paying the most interest they've paid in 20 years.
What you just say? Prepare what? Prepare or press?
Or press. Prepare or press. You either are in preparation mode, which means that you're saving. It means that you're getting your credit together. It means that you're doing the work because you are preparing for greater. Or you press. Pressing means this. Oh no, I'm here. But I got to fight this market. I got to keep going out with my realtor. I'm not going to settle for what I don't want to live in. Because right now people are, oh, well, maybe I could just take this and go. No, honey, we're not in settle mode. We in press mode, but not settle mode. If you set your mind to, no, my house is out there, I'm going to find it. I looked at 60 houses when I was buying this house, and it was a buyer's market. I just kept
look. That's it.
Right, because in this market you can look at 600 houses, right? I looked at over 60 houses, Gerard. But the thing is that I had my heart set on this house.
Right.
Now I promise you, when I walked in, I was like, what was I thinking? It ain't all that. Okay. You know what? You know what was all that? And this is so crazy. You know what was all that? The yard. The yard was all that to me. I was like, you know what? I could watch my kids out my kitchen window. I could see everything that they were doing. I knew if they tried to pull a disappearing act on me. And that was the reason why I wanted this house. You have to look at what your values are, what your priorities are. Are your children a priority? Because I want every person that desires to be a homeowner to be a homeowner. If you have children and you want to be a homeowner for that, because you know what? I just want my kids to have something that I never had. I had a house growing up. My mama had a house. But they didn't teach me how to have a house. The Lord taught me that. Okay. He taught me that. Okay, girl, you got to pay your mortgage, because if you don't, they're going to put you out on the street. I used to make my kids, and this is one of the pieces of advice that I give people with their children. Please sit down with your children and make your children pay bills with you. Make them pay bills with you. It's time to pay the bills.
I'm going to start that next week.
Sit down with them and show them, even if you pay stuff online, listen, I got to go in online and this is what I got to do. Make your children a part of that. Because you know what? If you do it, then it becomes habitual for them, and they'll know when it's time for them to pay that they have to pay. It's an obligation. It's not a choice. If you borrow money, you got to repay it. So we have to get back to old time family values. Just, you know what? Listen, be a good person. Do the right thing. Don't think that you can charge up somebody's credit card and then not pay them. That's not right.
Right. Right. Some people look at credit cards as free money.
And you know what? And they will actually put a credit card in their name and somebody else's name too and not pay it.
Right.
So those are the things that we have to stay away from. Collections. So one of the things, if you want to set yourself up for homeownership, then what you need to do is this. Pay your bills on time. Okay, now I'm going to tell y'all something, and I promise you that most banks, creditors, they don't want me to tell you, but I'm going to tell you anyway because they ain't my mama. The bottom line is this. If you pay your credit card late, as long as you pay it within the same month that is due, you have to pay a late fee, which I don't advise because credit card late fees are like $35, something crazy like that. But if you pay it within the same month that is due, they won't mark you late.
Wait. Say that one more time. Hold on.
Didn't I tell you we was going to drop some knowledge?
Hold on. Let me get my pen out. Wait a minute.
Didn't I tell you we was going to drop some knowledge today?
Oh, I knew we were.
if you pay your credit card late, if you have to pay any debt late, okay, so your mortgage is due on the 1st and it's late on it's 10th, late after the 16th.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Right? So it's the 1st and the 16th. Those are your drop dead dates. If you can get in between the 1st and the 16th and pay your mortgage, you are golden. They're always going to mark you paid on time.
Okay.
If you can't perhaps pay your mortgage, you know what? You're struggling. I don't have all the money. I'm going to have it next week and it's going to be after the 16th. Don't hit the panic button. Because if you pay it within the month that is due, they're still not going to mark you late. They're going to charge you a late fee. So anytime after the 16th, you're assessed a late fee. Your mortgage is not marked late until you go to the next month.
Okay.
That's for one. Same thing with your credit cards. If you pay your credit cards late, you're going to be assessed a late fee, but you have to get to the next cycle in order for them to mark it late.
That's major.
Okay. The next piece of knowledge that I want y'all to know, stop running from your creditors. They're people. They are people. So this is what I taught my class in financial literacy. I would tell them, listen, let me tell you something. I don't care whether the collector's on the phone calling you. Answer your phone. And if you don't have the money, tell them, well, sir, right now, sir, ma'am, right now, I don't have the money. What are they going to do? They're going to beat you up. First of all, it's illegal for them to call you up and harass you. It's illegal for them to make multiple calls to your house in a day, like just keep calling you back to back to back. No. But if you pick up the phone, you stop all of that. Sir, ma'am, I'm sorry. Right now, we're suffering a financial hardship and I don't have the money. Can I send you $5? Can I send you $10? So do your best to make arrangements. What arrangements can I make? Talk to your creditors. They're people just like you. And 9 times out of 10, they're struggling to pay something too.
Right.
Just because they're a collector doesn't mean they have their life together. I used to work in collections. And those people, they were the worst ones about paying their bills. I wasn't with them for that. But they were the worst ones. I was like, how y'all calling up people demanding that they pay their bill and you can't pay your bills? But that's the reality. And because this is our job. It is a job. It is a job. But when you start running from them, ducking, dodging, that's what causes you stress, unnecessary pressure in your life. And once you start doing that, it becomes a lifestyle for you. So don't do it.
Mm.
Pick up the phone, have the conversation with them. If you're struggling with your mortgage payment, pick up the phone, have a conversation with your mortgage lender. But the reason why people struggle with their mortgage payment is because their mortgage payment is the biggest payment in their household.
Mm. Right.
And it's a mindset, because the mindset is this: oh, I could pay that later because it's so big. You
Right.
have to shift that mindset to, I'm going to pay my mortgage if I don't pay anything else. If I have to walk or take the bus or ride a bike, I'm going
Mm.
to pay my mortgage. Why? Because I'm going to have some place to lay my head.
Right. So recap. We're gonna recap real quick. It's 10 o'clock. I don't want to keep you. I know you have your it's 10 o'clock. Listen,
Yeah.
we don't play around. This is how it
You know
goes.
what?
Every time we
Listen,
pick up the phone,
I know. You know
it's
what?
like
I know.
it's
I
been an hour.
know. Yeah, I know. But you
So,
know what? Listen, we got time. We got time. We can stand as
all
long as we like. It's your life. This your
right.
world. I'm just living in it today.
So I'm trying to process all of this, right? So I would say we talked about mindset, starting with the journal. I thought was very important. I thought that was dope. So starting with a journal, writing down all the people that you owe, right?
Yep.
And then from there, knowing your what you say, your Jeannette pay. So now you can budget
Yep.
to make sure. So is there I see a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of people, saying that 30% of your money should go here, 20% should go here, 50% should go here. Like, is there a specific way? Like, what's the best way
So the
to
specific
distribute
way.
your money? Or is it just
So
simply
so
just pay your bills?
so I'm gonna tell y'all this, and this is, you know what, this is stuff that nobody told me. I learned this on my own, cause I'm
Mm,
smart, honestly, and I have a real relationship with the Holy Spirit. That's just the truth. So, cause I'm
mm,
I'm really not that smart, but He is, and so He, you know what, I will tap into the Lord, be like, listen, I need answers. When you create a budget, what you do is you sit down, and this is the simplest thing to do. And people make it so difficult. You sit down,
mm,
you take all your bills. I want you to um, list your bills from the highest bill to the lowest bill, right?
mm,
And the way that you attack that is you start paying the lowest. You put the most on the lowest, and everybody else you just maintain. Once you get the first one paid off, go to the next one, and so on and so on and so on. It's not that difficult. It's
mm.
not. And the reason I know is because I did it. So it's not that difficult. It's focus. You
Right.
gotta be focused. And so once you get your budget situated, when you pay that first bill off, you don't go, okay, well, I'm gonna take all the money that I put on the first bill, and no, now you start, separating stuff.
Right.
Okay, well, I paid this first bill off. I knocked this off and I don't have this to pay anymore. So I'm going to take the money that I was paying on this bill, and I'm going to, even if it's the bare minimum, I'm going to put $25 away.
Mm,
Okay. And you start making a savings account. If you're going to buy a house, then the first thing that you should have is a savings account for your house.
mm.
I don't care what anybody says. And don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't do it.
Right.
So there's things I can't tell people on live. I could tell you,
I
but
know.
I can't tell them on live. If they want me, they're gonna have to come seek me out. But don't put your eggs in one. Old adages that people used to say, they just gone away. There was
Right.
a reason why they said don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Mm.
Because if you drop the basket, then your eggs gonna break.
You done broke all the eggs. Now you got no eggs.
Right, right. So you know what? But we don't think on that level. So once
Mm,
you got your budget, and just work with your budget, and it's not easy. I'm not gonna tell you it's gonna be easy, because
mm,
with your budget, what you do is you have to track your spending. Now I want you to know there's a difference between spending and investing.
mm.
And the bottom line is that we're spenders, we're not investors.
Right.
Like, how they talk about, oh, people's dollars go around, different nations, their dollars go around their community like 7 times before they leave it, but our dollars don't even get to the first go before it
Mm,
leaves our communities. So you have to change your mindset. There's some there's some deprogramming and reprogramming that we need to do.
Right.
Because it's not that we can't get it. I promise you, we can get it. We can
Mm.
get it. You know, we go from having nothing to having everything. But then we
Mm.
go back to having nothing because we don't remember how we got everything.
Right.
Right? So
Right.
there's some deprogramming and reprogramming that we need to do. Budgeting, it's not the budgeting that's difficult, it's sticking to the plan.
Mm.
Because no, you can't go out and buy the pair of red bottoms. But see, you know what? I don't even have a pair of red bottoms. And if I did, trust me, I promise you they would never touch the ground. They would never touch the ground. When I go to church, my shoes do not hit the ground. I wear a pair of flats to church and put my shoes on when I get inside. I am not walking my heels all, just messing my heels up.
Right.
It's a mindset.
Right.
It's a mindset. But see, I come from, the era where we were wearing Keds and we thought we were you had a pair of Keds, you thought you were big time, right? You had a pair of Jordan jeans or Jordache, you thought you had, hit the big time. Our parents were paying for everything. We were just living for free and didn't know any better.
Right.
At the end of the day, once you get that budget, you just got to work it. And so you may need to align yourself with somebody that will keep you on track and help you work that budget. And you may have to pay for that. That's a service worth paying for. It's not worth paying someone to go and fix your credit that you messed up, because you can fix it yourself.
Right.
It's called making a settlement. You can call and make a settlement. You can call and make payment arrangements. There are plenty of people that didn't pay something and then they turned around and said, well, hey, you know what? I know I stiffed you. Let me start a payment arrangement plan. I can't give you all the money, but let me pay you.
Right.
And it reports on your credit as, it'll say, charged off now in repayment.
Okay.
These things look good on your credit report if you settle an account, it's not damaging. Don't feel like, I ruined my credit because I said, no, you can settle the account. Listen, I
Mm.
don't have all the money. And the bottom line is that if it's going in collections, you should be working to settle it, because that person only paid pennies on the dollar to get it. I want you to know that.
Right.
So when your accounts get turned over to a collection agency, what happens is this: the collection agency approaches your creditor, and they approach your creditor and they say, we'll pay you 50 cents on the dollar now, and you sell us their debt. So what,
Mm.
you gonna go pay them or the whole full price for? No, I'll pay you what you paid. Prove what you paid them and I'll pay that.
So that's true that the debt collector purchased the debt from whoever it was you owe.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely. But then again, you know what? One of the things that you need to know is, credit unions and banks are different, because I
Mhm.
work for both. I work for the big box lender, and now I work for, the largest credit union in Connecticut. And I'm
Mhm.
going to tell you, it's like night and day. But I also work for a mortgage company in between that.
Mhm.
So the knowledge that I gained was crazy,
Mm.
because I had no idea that things that we weren't doing at that big bank, they could do it at a mortgage company.
Mm.
I had no idea that the things that we weren't doing at that big bank, they consider it at a credit union.
Right.
So, don't box yourself in. What happens now is that we believe that whoever we bank with, that's who we have to do business with. I want you all to know that bankers, lenders, um, all these major player banks, and I don't care what their names are, Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, all of these national banks, I promise you, you are just a number to them. They don't know you. They don't know you. I worked for them for almost 30 years and they didn't know me.
So you think that vibe is different dealing with the credit union or the smaller
Mortgage
school?
companies don't have accounts. Okay.
Mhm.
So mortgage companies don't have accounts. Banks and credit unions, right?
Mhm.
So it's different because, there are accounts that you can get at the credit union that don't cost you anything, but you'll pay for them at the bank. If you're serious about being a homeowner, then now you have to start watching every dollar.
Mhm.
Why should I pay you $15 a month to have an account with you? Why? Why I gotta pay you to let you use my money? Think about it.
Right.
I'm letting you use my money because all the money that I deposit in the bank, y'all are using it for something. I don't care whether it's $50. You're taking my $50 and you're using it to your benefit.
Right.
But then you want me to pay you to hold my $50 for me?
Mm.
So we just have to think outside of the box. Another thing that I am 100% against is check cashing places. I don't care who you are. Check King, check this, that. No, you are actually, first of all, you're working for the man already. Okay, so you know what? If you are a W-2 wage earner, if you don't work for yourself, you're not self-employed, then, well, my gramps used to say you're working for Mr. Charlie and Miss Ann. Okay, that's what my grandpa used to say.
Mr.
So you're
Charlie.
already working for them, and then you're going to turn around and you're going to go give some check cashing place 10% of your pay because you need it now. Stop. Think about it. 10% on $600 is $60.
Right.
Give them $60 to cash a check. And primarily the reasons that we do stuff like that is because we stiff the bank and then we can't get an account. We stiff the credit union, we can't get an account. Nope, you know what? Listen, get your financial life in order. Because it's stuff like that. You can go back to the bank and you can settle that account. You can pay that account up, and then you'll be able to open up a bank account, or the credit union, whatever it is. You'll be able to open up an account and handle it responsibly. See, those are the things that I think people need other people for, to help them be on track.
Right.
I
was gonna say it's not too late. A lot of people feel like, okay, once I get to this point, it's on my credit. As a it's on my credit as collections, that it's too late. Like, no, that's actually credit right there. Like, if you pay that off, you're going to boost your score up.
Yep. And right. And the thing is that you just have to find someone reputable that's going to deal with you with integrity. I will tell you, I know a credit person who was probably one of the most integral credit people I've ever met in my life. He's a very nice man. And when people call him, he'll give them direction for nothing. He just, and you know what? When you do stuff like that, Gerard, that's where you set yourself up for God to come in and move on your behalf. Because he sees your heart. This guy has a heart of gold. He does sign people up to say, you know what, listen, if you want to use my services and if you want my help, then this is how much it's going to cost you a month, right? But there are people that have called this man and he said, you don't need my help to go do this. Go do this, this, and this.
Right.
And it's going to boost your credit score, and good luck. I hope everything works out for you.
Right. That's awesome.
And that's really what we have to do for one another. But we also have to stop wanting everything for free. Oh, well, why can't you give it to me? Well, you know what? Because I had to work to get it. What's wrong with you? We have to stop. Oh, well, you should just freely. No. I told you, information is the most powerful thing in the world to sell. It'll make you. Okay, so think about this. Think about all of the motivational speakers in the world. What are they selling? Information. The information.
I never thought when you asked the question. Obviously, I never thought about it like that, but it makes 100% sense for sure.
Information. You know what? Because they can get up in front of an audience and they sound confident, and they've studied whatever it is that they're putting out there. Anthony Robbins went and studied the greats and then said, wait, and now I could tell you what the greats did. And the guy's a billionaire.
Right.
Information. And we got to start seeking information because knowledge is power.
Right.
So when we do that, it puts us in a different mindset, and it puts us in it changes our perspective, but it also changes the trajectory of our lives. It can turn things around in a minute. It's never too late to go back and fix anything. Never too late.
Right. So I usually go to Q&A, but we did run over a little bit, so I don't think we're going to do Q&A. But what I am going to do is tag you in this post on your Facebook, you do Messenger? You do Facebook
Yeah,
Messenger?
yeah, they can.
Okay.
Anybody can message me on
All right.
Facebook.
All right.
There's
So
so
you're
much
not
that.
that bad. I thought you.
No, no. Listen. I'm a social media girl, so
Okay.
I got Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Clubhouse. That you know what? It's because I want to know. Like to me, social media is like news.
Right.
I don't want to watch the news because all they talk about is bad news,
Bad stuff. Right.
right? But you can really get you can get good information off of social media, but you have to be very careful.
You
You have
gotta
to
be
be very
careful.
careful of everything that you're taking in. People say, "Oh, well, if you put this, and this together, it's gonna grow your hair." But then if your hair falls out, you know what? Who you going to? You better keep using Blue Magic the way your mama did. Royal Crown. What we do is we throw everything that worked for us away,
Right.
and then
I
we wonder why we're struggling.
I tell all my people, me and my cousins, we have a little running joke that you are what your algorithm is. Like
Yes.
what you're taking in, that's who
Yes.
you are. And
Right.
sometimes we go back and forth and we're sending each other like funny videos or whatever, but then you can't get rid of them. So now
Right.
everything you watch becomes a joke. Like, you know
And
what I mean?
so, you know what? Yeah, for me, I listen to well, you know what? I'm a preacher.
Mhm.
So I listen to preachers, because AME Zion is popping. We got some preachers. So, you know
Mm,
what? I listen to preachers. I want to hear their sermons. My pastor, if I'm not in church, I can get his sermon on Facebook. My former
mm,
pastor, I can go get his sermon.
mm,
Preachers that I've come up with in the faith, I can go and watch them because now they're pastors, and I can go and watch their sermons and
mm.
and sit there because I'm the proud big sister. I'm like, look at him go. Um, I listen to things that are gonna motivate me.
Right.
So I watch a lot of motivational stuff on YouTube. Um, Love Neville Goddard. Oh my God, because he was a great mind before his time.
Right.
So I love physics, I love metaphysics, I love quantum physics. So those are the things, because you know what it is. Whatever your algorithm is, what you're taking in, that's what you're putting out.
Right.
People downplay the power of positive thought, but thoughts become things.
Right. 100%.
So if you buying a house, at one point they were the what was it, the vision boards were very big, right?
Right.
Everybody was doing a vision board party, and
Party. Yep.
people creating vision boards, and of course you're paying to get in and paying to create your vision board. And I'm like, yeah, I can sit home and vision board myself. I'm good. I'm good. I'll put my stuff together. But
Right.
I think that there's power in community. I know that there's power in community.
Mm,
And as a community, if we really want to change things, we got to get together and do that.
mm,
Not just, oh, this person's over here doing this and this person's over here doing that. I know that every realtor has at least 5 people that they work with, lenders,
right.
like I got my top 5. And, then
Mm,
you may be in my second tier or whatever. But it's the
mm,
same thing for me. As a lender, I have my top 5. Those are my
right.
go-to people. Those are the people that, I know I can trust with my clients, because the same way that you'll send me clients, I'm reciprocal. I'll send you clients too, and be like, listen, this person needs your expertise, because I know you a
Right.
closer. Okay, if you're not a closer,
Right.
lenders are not trying to deal with people that are not closers, because a closer is gonna go get the sale. They'd be like, yeah, no, I'm a mover and a shaker. I'm gonna make these people see this person.
Mm,
So even if they may
right.
not be the best candidate, I'm gonna make them see them. They're gonna look good to them. So,
Right.
those things, they matter. One of the things that I wanted to share with you before we go: make sure that you have a designated account for your household once you buy your house. Don't just have, okay, well, all my money's going into my checking account and I'm going to work from this one checking account. Get a designated account for your household bills, everything that you have to pay. First of all, because you can track it. So if you have to go to a lender and say, oh, I want another mortgage, and they say, okay, well, you need proof of payment. If you have a private mortgage, you may not be able to prove that you pay it. But if you have a designated account and you can show that money coming out of that account every month, boom, 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 there it goes. It's going to them. Even a renter. Renters, please do not pay your landlord in cash. I don't care how much your landlord likes cash. Don't do it. And not every lender is going to ask for this. We're all different. Lenders come in all shapes and sizes. That's what I found out, right? But if you transfer the money to them, your rent, if you pay them by check, which is kind of old school, if you even if you pay by Cash App, but it's going to your landlord, you got your landlord's name in that Cash App, make sure you can track your payment. And people go, well, why? Because cash is not trackable. And landlords don't always want you to move, so they don't always want you to get ahead. You've been a good tenant, I don't want you to leave.
Right.
If I don't want you to leave, I don't have to give you a good tenant reference. I don't have to tell the lender that you paid on time. I could say, no, they didn't. Rent receipts don't do it, because you can go to Staples and get some rent receipts and make them up yourself. That's why it's really not a credible source. Make sure that
you need the paper trail.
Right, get a paper trail. Make sure that your child support, have a paper trail. Don't come to me talking about, oh yeah, he gives me $500 a month, but I can't prove to you that he did, because then he didn't. It's as simple as that. Then he didn't. If the court ordered him to pay that, that's great. You could show me the court order, but can you prove that he paid you? Lenders want proof of that kind of stuff. And I know it may be frustrating, but it is what it is, because you're asking someone to lend you hundreds of thousands of dollars. So one of the things that I tell my clients, this is huge. Why do we have to go get stuff? And why are you asking for this or that? Because you're asking me for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Thousands of dollars.
And
I tell my clients all the time, they're giving you $300,000 of their money. Give them the paperwork.
And if the shoe was reversed, if I came to you, Gerard, and said, hey, can I borrow $300,000? You're going to tell me that you don't have any credit criteria. You're not going to be concerned about how I'm going to pay you back. You're not going to be concerned about if I have a job. You're not going to be concerned about none of that. Because you have to be, and we are too. So don't get, don't get hyped up. Don't get all, remember this. The lender is driving the bus, not you. You could drive the bus when you own the home, but for now, I'm driving.
They giving you the money. You got to give them the paperwork.
Yep. So and this is another thing. So one of the questions that we were going to discuss is, how can renters make informed decisions about property investment and maintenance to secure their financial future? I want you to know that in our communities, investing is difficult for us. And it's difficult for us because, we're living from day to day, most times from paycheck to paycheck, right? But here's the formula. This is my formula, by the way. I just want you to know. So you heard it here first. Okay. Buy the multifamily first. So 100%. I call it my 3-2-1 rule. Okay. It's a 3-2-1 plan, and it works like 1-2-3. 4 families are hard to come by, because if we have four families, I would be saying, buy a 4 family. But buying a 4 family nowadays is like looking under a rock. Okay. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, right? But buy the 3 family first, live in that property for 2 years, then turn around and buy the 2 family. Go live in that 2 family from 2 to 5 years, and then go buy your dream house, the 1 family. 3, 2, 1. That's how you build generational wealth. That's how we build generational wealth. Okay.
So 3 family first.
3 family first.
3 family first. Second family. Second house is a 2 family.
Yep.
Live in that third house is a single family.
Live in that 3 family for at least 2 years. So lenders require that you live in your property, except Chaffa. Chaffa ain't in this. Lenders require that you live in your property for at least 1 year. You have to occupy that property when it's a owner occupied purchase, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you buy a 3-family and you live in that 3-family for 2 years and you turn around and you rent that 3-family out and you go buy a 2-family,
Mm-hmm.
you're going down. You're not going up. Because see, people think that, oh, I'm going to buy a 1-family and then I'm going to go buy an investment property. No, you're not.
Right.
And the reason that you're not is because if you're not making money and you don't have 25% down to be an investor, you're not going to get you're not going to get the multifamily.
Right.
Because you got to have 20. Once you own a single family house, you have to have 25%. But there are products out there where you can keep your 3-family and go buy a 2-family and use a
Okay.
first-time home buyer product.
Or owner occupied product.
You have to have, it has to be owner occupied, but you can still
Right.
go back to, okay, well, you know what? There are some products that will allow you to buy another property and they won't hold it against you.
Right.
Okay. So you
Right.
get the 2-family. Once you get the 2-family, you stay in that 2-family from 2 to 5 years. Don't press yourself or stress yourself. And you turn around and you rent that
Right.
out and buy your single family. That's how we build
How many
generational.
how many people do you know actually follow that through?
Quite a few. I know
Okay.
quite a few people, but they were young,
Okay.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
they're not old timers like me. They're young. You know what? Listen, we have young people coming up. They're 22 to 25 years old and they're ready to go buy houses. But
Right.
they can't afford to, oh, I'm gonna just buy this single family house and pay this big rent. So they buy
Mm-hmm.
a 3-family and have other people help them pay their mortgage so that they can go on. I know quite a few people. My godson's friends
Mm-hmm.
did it. I'm like, you know what? Y'all
Mm-hmm.
better go ahead and get it now. And then you know what?
Right.
Everybody call me auntie. So they're like, auntie, I'm buying another house. Okay.
Mm-hmm. The reason why I asked that is because that information has been out there for, you know what I mean? Like everybody knows, okay, you get the I never had it broken down that way though. But it's like buy the multifamily first and then and then get your single. But I just noticed that it's just hard to get people to grasp that concept of number one, being a landlord, number two, moving into that multifamily property and having to share that space. You know what I mean?
But the thing is this, Gerard, if you can't grasp the concept of being a landlord, that's what they make management companies for.
Right.
You don't have to collect your rent. You can have a management company do it. And there are people out
Mm-hmm.
there that just, you know what, they do management company billing because they know, okay, no, I need to go. I know a realtor that does it. He goes and he's
Mm-hmm.
management company for other people. They
Right.
bought multifamily houses and he's like, okay, well, it doesn't matter whether your landlord lives in the same house. If you have a problem, contact me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Because
I've
that's the stress of being a landlord, right? Oh my God, they're going to
mm,
call and say the toilet is running.
right. Right.
Plenty of
I've done it before. I used to do it myself. And matter of fact, my guy that's on the live right now, Xavier Richardson, suggested that I get back into it. But he just logged on as soon as you
All
said
right,
it.
Xavier.
Now I
So,
gotta hear that I told you so.
that is, listen, but this is how we build generational wealth. You know
Right.
what? Think about the families that you know, the families that we grew up with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those families, they had multifamily houses and they passed them down generationally to their kids. And then
Mm-hmm.
their kids did something with it. But we stopped buying. You know what? No, we all want to live in the suburbs.
Mm-hmm.
We all want to be out of our own neighborhoods.
Right.
It's
So
bananas.
right. So no more starter homes, right? Nobody wants to be a landlord. You know what I mean? Like these are things that I think that buyers need to open their minds up to
Yeah.
uh coming into this market for sure. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you
Absolutely.
brought that up. Yeah.
Absolutely. There's some, um, when it comes to lifestyle. So my spiritual mom always said to me this. She said, Jay, you know what? when you get your pay. She said you save some, you spend some, you give some, and you always have some. We have to stop thinking about, oh, I'm holding back, I'm not giving this or that. Listen, giving is a part of living. Right. So we have to, align ourselves with what the earth is doing. Forget about what the guy down the street from you is doing, and please stop comparing yourself to other people. I'm so tired of hearing about your friends. Oh, well, my friend got, I don't care what your friend got, because your friend don't have your credit score, your friend doesn't have your credit rating, your friend, you know what, listen, mortgages are like snowflakes. No two are really alike. No two are really alike. Everybody's situation is different. Go into it looking at your own situation. Don't keep, oh, well, my cousin said, and my cousin's a realtor, but if your realtor cousin could get you a house, you wouldn't be on the phone with Jeannette. You would be on the phone with them. Those are the things that lenders have to hear about all the time, Rod. It's like, listen, ma'am, sir.
We hear it too. We hear it
Right,
too.
because then you know what you get with your house. My loan officer said your loan officer don't know nothing about 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and in a fully finished basement and all. I don't know anything about it. I tell people quick, don't ask me about that stuff, because it's not that's not in my scope of work. That's your realtor. Go ask them. I don't know whether your backyard has a sinkhole in it. I don't know whether it has a tank that needs to be removed. We don't know these things. We don't know whether you have termites, whether the foundation's falling, all of that. And for God's sake, if you apply for a mortgage, in the name of the Lord, do not forego the inspection. If you do, call me so I can fuss you out. Do not. You show up to your inspection, you pay for your inspection. And I understand that in this market, and there are many, many people that don't have any money. But for people who have no money, there are still programs. But you have to work the program. And you still, even if I don't have any money, well, okay, so ask yourself this: if you don't have any money, should you really be buying? Because you still have an appraisal to pay for. You still have an application fee to pay for with the lender. You still have an inspection to pay for. That's just basic
earnest money
stuff.
deposit.
Right. That's just basic stuff. You could get around the earnest money deposit if your realtor has some type of relationship with the other realtor, and they can talk them into accepting zero. But that's like a needle in a haystack too in this market. What you mean what you mean you're not gonna give me no money? What? Earnest money is what causes the seller to take their property off the market. People don't even know that.
Correct.
That that's good faith seed money. That's what it is. That it's saying, in good faith, I'm gonna buy your property, even if you don't wind up buying the property.
Right.
We could stay here all day and do this. We have to do it again.
Listen. Listen. The reality is, we're probably gonna get off of this, and I'm gonna call you, and we're gonna keep talking anyway. That's.
I know. You know what? Listen, we don't know how to hang up. And did you know this?
I'm gonna call you. Be like, how'd you think it went? And then it's gonna lead to a whole nother conversation,
you know Listen,
and we'll be here at 12 o'clock.
I love this. We got to come back on. So what we can do, if you could save the questions from the Q&A, we can come back and answer them.
Okay.
We can come back and answer the question. Because apparently
I'm gonna no, what?
When you show up, people get on. So you know what? Listen, we can come back and answer the question.
Definitely. I'm definitely gonna tag you in the in the post.
Okay.
I wanted to record this one and put it on YouTube as well, but because we had the technical difficulties and I had to change softwares and all that stuff, I don't think we have that luxury. But so I'll leave this up on my page.
Okay. And I'll share it on my page. I'll go to your page and share it on my page too.
Right. Okay. All right. And then I'm pretty sure if you have any questions, people, she's going to be tagged on this post. If you have any questions, you can simply ask, direct message, or you want to give your phone number out? It's up to you.
Yeah. So, anybody who wants to call me, they can call me at 203-907-4487. That's my business line. So you can call me if you don't get me, because after I get off with this live with Gerard, I'm actually doing a Zoom homebuyer education that he's going to meet me at 12 o'clock, and we're going to keep this party rolling.
Yes, ma'am.
But if you want to call me or text me, you can do that. And just if you have questions, then I'll be happy to answer them. Whatever I could do, that's what I'm here for. I'm a community girl first. Y'all my peeps.
And I know it's short notice, but can we share the link to the other Zoom or no?
Yeah. Oh shoot. I gotta let me get my other
So right now it's 10:30. The other Zoom starts at 12.
it starts at 12
If
o'clock.
right,
You know what?
it starts
I'm gonna do it again. So we'll have another one, because I would just prefer
okay.
for them to sign up for another one. I will share the link for that. I'll
Okay.
share it on my Facebook page. I'll tag you in it. This is mid-November. We'll probably do another one the first week in December.
Okay.
And it's just a home buyer education. It's an hour from 12 to 1 o'clock, usually on a Wednesday. And it's just gathering information. That's all it is. And honestly, if you're just starting out, you should be in information gathering mode.
Right.
So the more
Right.
information you get, because we talk about stuff that we didn't even address here. We'd never addressed student loans. There's so much. Mortgages are vast. So when you think about lending, think about a spider web. Because this country is actually held up on mortgages. That's how this country is supported, on mortgages. And the reason is because mortgages support so many industries. We support real estate, we support insurance, we support PMI companies, attorneys, home inspectors. So it just, underwriters, we support the country. And
Right.
so,
And not even just residential, commercial is.
Yep. So,
Yeah.
yeah, there's so much information. So we're gonna do this again though, because I had a great time.
Okay.
We always
You
have the best
heard it from her.
conversation.
You heard it from her. I don't have to go looking for her.
No, I'm the one who goes looking for him, and he knows that.
Oh, no, we're not gonna do this right now.
He knows I have a special name for him.
Listen, thank you for doing this with me. I wanted, like I said, we have such great conversations. I wanted to be able to share you with my people so they could see, how you're there for me and how you're there for, for my clients and all that stuff. So thank you. And we'll definitely do it again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate you. I appreciate you including me. I think this was so much fun. And we have to do more of this. We have to do more of it so that
we're gonna do more. It's gonna get better. I told you I'm gonna get my applause button.
I know, right?
Next time we'll have the names underneath the pictures. Oh yeah. I'm a nerd out on the next one. Don't worry about it.
Okay, well, I'm ready. I am ready.
All right, people. Thanks for hanging out with us. Any questions, comment below. I'll put Jeanette's information below as well. You could send her a direct message, me as well. Office Hours Live, we'll call this the extended version here.
I love it. Office Hours, I love it.
Office Hours. I had to do it from 9, like this is my prospecting hours, right? Only you know what that means. Yeah. So I figured it's a good way for me to prospect and be online and be in front of people during my office hours at 6 o'clock at night. I don't want to be on a Zoom. I want to be with my family. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. So there you go. Boundaries.
So I thought this was the best thing to do it. Hit the replay button, share it, like it, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And I'll catch you again next Wednesday.
Bye guys.
Right? Have a good one.